naivāsato naiva sataḥ pratyayo rthasya yujyate asataḥ pratyayaḥ kasya sataśca pratyayena kim.
naivāsato naivāsataḥ pratyayo rthasya yujyate asataḥ pratyayāḥ kasya sataśca pratyayena kim. MMK chapter 1 verse 6. A cause is not workable for an object, either a real and present one or a non-existent one. Of what non-existent object is there a cause? And to the real and present, what use is a cause? So the genitive of sat is sataḥ, or before na, sataḥ becomes sato. And the genitive of artha is rthasya. So artha has many meanings, including value, use, and object, thing or object. So sataḥ rthasya means an existent object, or a real and present object. So sat is the present participle of the verbal root as, to be. So sat means being. And if you look in a dictionary for sat, it gives being, existing, real, actual, as anyone or anything ought to be, true, good, right. So sataḥ rthasya means of a real object, of a real and present object. And asataḥ rthasya means an unreal, of an unreal object, of a non-existent object. So what does he mean by a real and present object? Well, this little greenhouse that I'm sitting in, I made earlier this year, and when I was making it, it seemed to be a real and present object. When I was concreting the blocks, putting the mortar on the blocks and one block on top of the other, and then covering that in plaster and painting it, it seemed like a real job, and it was a real job. But you could say the cause, I was partly following, conscious of Jordan Peterson's injunction to tidy your room. My place in France, this barn, of which the greenhouse is a little extension, it had been a mess for years. I wanted to get it sorted out. If I get the barn sorted out, I can put a lot of junk from inside the house into the barn or shed, and then I can keep the house tidy. So it was part of my desire to get things in order, to set things straight, starting off with my own thinking. So there's the cause. You could say the cause is to set things straight. You know, like Master Dogen says in the chapter of Shobogenzo Zammai or Zammai, to set one's posture upright is to set the eyeballs straight, to set the brain straight, to set the Buddhist patriarch straight. You know, this is the wisdom of tidying your room. You know, if you can straighten out any little thing, you're starting to, the direction you're going in is getting everything straight. So let's say that's the cause. The cause is to set everything straight. So then, if that's the cause, in what sense is it workable for the real and present object, which is the construction of the greenhouse? And so what he's saying is, a cause is not workable for an object. So a cause, singular, pratyaya, is not workable, na yujyate, na not, yujyate, workable, suitable, appropriate to. Yuji is like it's cognate with yoga, practice. It's also cognate with yoga, to join things together. So joining things together instead of fitting or being appropriate. I usually translate na yujyate is not workable. So pratyayaḥ na yujyate, a cause is not workable. Of or for, genitive, sataḥ rthasya, is not workable for a real and present object. Okay, so what it means is that I think that the cause is to get everything straightened out, and the object, the real and present object, is this greenhouse that I'm constructing. But Nagarjuna is saying no, that kind of thinking that's prapansha. You're turning a job into a cause and an object. And the reality that Nagarjuna wants to point to, the reality of empty dharmas, is not composed of an acting subject operating on a real and present object. That's what he means by this. And neither is a cause. A cause is not workable. Pratyaya, not workable. Na yujyate. Asataḥ. So if we said asataḥ rthasya, it would go with sandita rthasya. So asataḥ plus rthasya will be rthasya. But so if we split it into elements, not na, asataḥ, non-existent, rthasya, object, yujyate, na yujyate, not workable. And so then genitive, asataḥ rthasya, for a non-existent object. So this says naivāsato, naivāsataḥ. So the naiva is na eva. So eva is emphatic. Naiva means not at all. Or in this case, I chose not to translate it. Hopefully the emphasis is there in the translation. So naivāsato, not at all, for a non-existent. So it's na plus eva plus asataḥ. Naivāsato, na plus eva, naiva. Naiva plus asataḥ. Naivāsato, and sataḥ before the next naiva goes to naivāsato. Naivāsato, naivāsataḥ. So not for a non-existent, not for an existent, rthasya, object, pratyayo. Pratyaya is a cause, yujyate, workable. So we put it all together with sandhi. Naivāsato, naivāsataḥ, pratyayo rthasya yujyate. So pratyayaḥ plus rthasya goes to pratyayo rthasya. Naivāsato, naivāsataḥ, pratyayo rthasya yujyate. A cause is not workable for an object. Okay, that's the main point he's saying. A cause is not workable for an object. So a cause, pratyaya, is not workable, na yujyate, for an object, rthasya, genitive singular varta, for an object, of an object. and then either a real and present one or a non-existent one. Naivāsato, naivāsataḥ. So the order is different in Sanskrit. Naivāsato, not for the non-existent. Naivāsataḥ, not for the existent. Naivāsato, naivāsataḥ, pratyayo rthasya yujyate. A cause is not workable for an object, either a real and present one or a non-existent one. So a non-existent object, we're talking about a cause. So we say the cause is setting everything straight by practicing zazen, by tidying things up, by paying attention to how one cooks a meal and eating it in a balanced way. That's all the cause. And so what the non-existent object might be to cease suffering, to lead all living beings in the direction of stopping suffering. So that's a non-existent cause. That's just a direction. So it's an object that does not exist. And again, Nagarjuna is saying, if we conceive we're making effort in the right direction so that all living beings will stop suffering, that kind of thinking is not where it's at. It's not about this being a cause for that non-existent object, because there's no separation. It's really the same principle as Jordan Peterson's tidy your room. If we're setting things straight, there's nothing beyond that. We're not doing it for the sake of an object out there that doesn't yet exist, because that's prapancha. That's spinning into an existence, an absence of suffering. And what the Buddha taught is nisprapancha, or prapanchopashama, the cessation of that kind of prapancha. So second line, asataḥ pratyayaḥ kasya. So kasya is genitive of ka. Ka means what. So kasya means of what. And asataḥ is again genitive, means non-existent. So asataḥ kasya, of what non-existent. And we can guess that rthasya of the first line is understood. So asataḥ kasya rthasya. So we could, if we're using Sandhi, we would say asataḥ kasya rthasya, or asato rthasya kasya. Of what non-existent object? Pratyayaḥ is nominative, singular masculine, cause. So a nominative word can often be translated there is. So asataḥ pratyayaḥ kasya. Of what non-existent there is a cause? Of what non-existent is there a cause? If we put in square brackets object, of what non-existent object is there a cause? So for example, if we say that, if we conceive that the object is an absence of suffering everywhere, that's a non-existent object. So of that object, what cause is there? Of what non-existent object is there a cause? So when we think like that, and we look for a cause, we'll find a cause yujyate, a cause is not found. Because the cause The cause is setting everything straight. The cause is tidying your room. It doesn't exist as a non-empty cause. Fourth para. Sataḥ pratyayena kim. Sataḥ pratyayena kim. So, cha is and. Sataḥ means existent or real and present. So, sataḥ and. So, sataḥ is genitive. So, and for the real and present, or and of the real and present, or in this case, and to the real and present. Pratyayena kim. Pratyayena is instrumental singular of pratyaya. And when the instrumental singular is used with kim, it means what's the use of. So, trying to think of another example. Kim. If you say, it would be a silly question. Kim anena. What is the use of food? Ana, food. Anena, instrumental singular. Kim, what? Kim anena, what's the use of? I'm trying to think, what's the use of worrying in Sanskrit? I forgot the word for to worry. Anyway, the point is, kim with instrumental singular is what's the use of. So, pratyayena kim, what is the use of a cause? Sataḥ, to the existent, to the real and present. Sataḥ pratyayena kim, and to the real and present, what use is a cause? So, if I go back to the example of the real and present task of constructing a greenhouse, I think the point is, when the action is going on of doing that work, then identifying a non-empty cause, let's say bullshitting about setting everything straight, or the wisdom of Jordan Peterson's philosophy of tidying a room. It'd be almost like if you imagine working on a building site and you started talking about Jordan Peterson's philosophy of tidying a room, your fellow builders might look a bit askance at you. And I think it's that kind of, this is the kind of spirit of the fourth pada. Again, if you were playing rugby and you before the match in a huddle, you pontificated on the merit of tidying your room, say, your fellow rugby players. If they were speaking Sanskrit, they might say, sataḥ pratyayena kim, and to the real and present, what use is a cause? Naivāsato naivāsato pratyayo rthasya yujyate. Asataḥ pratyayah kasya, sataś pratyayena kim. A cause is not workable for an object, either a real and present one or a non-existent one. Of what non-existent object is there a cause? And to the real and present, what use is a cause?